In the last two podcasts, I first mentioned great Catholic thinkers in a time of crisis in the first podcast. In the second podcast, I tried to analyze the problems of our modern world, that is 2025. I emphasize the fact that the teaching of the popes for the Catholics are vital in giving us the right direction. And yet, I also pointed out that the Pope is actually ineffective in doing things concretely because he does not have the army. And I gave the example of how during the Second World War, the Pope didn't know everything about the atrocities of the Nazis in Germany. And yet he couldn't do anything because if he were to condemn Hitler, Hitler would just ignore him. Likewise, if the Pope today is to condemn any politician or support any side in any conflict openly by naming the country and the leaders of the countries they invaded other countries, then he will immediately lose his effectiveness because the leader will just simply ignore him and start hitting back on the Christians living under these leaders' countries. So more or less, this is the problem. And so finally, in the second podcast, I suggest that perhaps it is a time that lay people, the people who are free, should actually put all the teaching of the Pope into active actions. And this is why I'm giving this podcast. I'm a retired professor. My retirement pension in a few years' time will only be about 42,000 NT, which is about 1,300 US dollars. So basically, I am quite poor financially, considering that one day I might have to pay huge bills for my healthcare should I become invalid. But this is just my personal plight. This is not my excuse. What I'm trying to say is we Christians who are not church leaders, bishops, priests, or religious, we could do something to take up the teaching of our church leaders, the Pope and our bishops. We are the people who can actively change things. Take a very simple example. If you would think that we should really look after our environment and we would try to, we should do something about climate change. What we should do is to get together to pressurize or to ask our country or our country's leaders to do something on these topics. And if we think, as the Pope asks us, to look after the weak and the poor, the children and the women and the migrant workers, there's no use just praying for it alone. We also have to act. And so in this podcast, I will try to suggest ways in which we Christians who are loyal to the teaching of Christ can find ways to effectively carry out the teachings of the church.